Good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Matcha Morning. Mushroom Matcha Morning. And Beadhead Musing. Oh, so it's kind of late in the day. Actually, it's not morning, it's mid-morning. So it was Friday night last night, or no, it was Saturday night last night. Today's Sunday. And at 4 a.m. I hear music. Boom, 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 boom. My bedroom is right there, and they were over there on the street, the next street over. It's like not a full block, it's like a half a block or maybe even a quarter of a block away. And two cars, two white cars with their headlights on in the street. Boom, boom, boom. I don't understand this culture that needs everything boom, boom, boom. It's no wonder why they're so wired. Their nerve endings are constantly pop, pop, pop. Holy shit. So anyway, I mean, when I was young, I loved to listen to metal really loud. I know. And then I got fibromyalgia. Woo woo. So, but I didn't do that. I didn't sit in the middle of the street at 4 a.m. doing it. I would have never been disrespectful in that way. Never would have imagined it. I worked all day. I had to be asleep at night. Anyway, they woke me up, and it was just constant. And there was a bunch of them out there, like in a radius, walking back and forth to each other's car. I don't know what they were doing. Just like 6 cars. There's a parking lot out there across the street. Some of them were in there, some of them were in the street. And I was like, this is insanity. It's now 4:15 in the morning. So I called the sheriff's department, not the 911 emergency, just the dispatch, the non-emergency dispatch. And I was like, hey, could you send a sheriff over here or a police officer or somebody to come and get these guys calmed down? And they said, we will send for someone to come as soon as they can. Which tells me, okay, it's Saturday night, it's not cold, it's not raining. Somebody's up to no good out there. So nobody ever came that I know of. So I was just scrolling through Facebook till 6:30 in the morning. My eyeballs were so tired. I could have been doing something positive, but I just time wasted between 4 o'clock and 6:30. And then all was quiet. And I went back to bed. I went to sleep. And I slept till about 10. So, oh, and we have a time change. I don't know what time it is actually. So that was not fun. I didn't appreciate that at all. Anyway, so I'm gonna do 1 or 2 videos this morning, because last time I tried to do everything in one video, the video was really long, and I noticed when my videos are really long, they get fewer views, which makes sense. Like, who wants to sit and listen to this old lady ramble for an hour and a half? Nobody. So you can pick and choose which videos you want to do. So yesterday I fell asleep. I went to bed. I took care of a couple of things. I didn't sit in my comfy chair. I sat up in my bed, did a couple of things, and then fell asleep. So today is March 9th, 2025. Today is Sunday. I didn't do my grateful. I didn't write down what I'm grateful for yesterday. So I need to do that. So I am definitely grateful always for my son. Grateful for my son, Micah, who he's been in the Army for 10 or more years now. He has 2 associate's degrees, his bachelor's and his master's. Did that all while in the Army. Well, I mean, his master's, he was in the Army, but he moved over into those reserves so that he could go to school full time. Otherwise, all his classes he took from Southern New Hampshire University, the online program, which is a fabulous program. And he got one of his associates through there, and he got his bachelor's through there. So while he was working full-time for the Army as a linguist, he also got his associates and bachelor's. And right now he is a volunteer firefighter in California. He works full-time, and he also assists his girlfriend, who I should just call her his fiance. She doesn't have a ring, but she's his fiance. She is his, the one he's going to be married, his intended. And so she is the director of a summer program for kids, and she works all year, but a lot of it she can do from home in the off seasons. And but she lives right there by the camp. So she goes there and she keeps up and she makes sure that the property is safe for the kids. She hires people if like there's a leaking roof or whatever. She's in charge of all that. And she's in charge of having the program for when the kids get there. She's in charge of putting that program together. So the kids have something educational to do, something to do in nature, arts and crafts, science, ecology, and she hires people to come work, camp counselors to come work during the summer, and then she chooses the children that get to come each year. And so it's a pretty busy job. And so in the summer, obviously, she's very busy working the camp. And my son helps her with that. They built a tree house together for the kids that had to be very safe. And they, paint the buildings inside or out, whatever. Lawn maintenance, they do a little bit of that. They do, they keep the place going. So my son works a full-time job. Then after work, he goes down to the fire department. There's a small gym inside the fire department, and he works out. And then if they get a fire call, he goes out with them. And strangely, we're still not even we haven't even been in spring. We've still been in the winter season. And we have had all these fires here on the East Coast. Weird, right? Usually it's Wyoming or California or Texas or Arizona or Southern California that's got the fires right now. Fires are on the East Coast this year. South Carolina, North Carolina. Interesting. So, but he's had some small fires that he's had to help put out. I don't know where I was going with that, just that I'm proud of my son, I guess. So grateful for my son, Micah. Always, always, always. I'm grateful that my car has not died for the last 2 days. Car has not died for the last 2 days. I'm glad that I got a little bit of pet sitting money over the weekend. All the money that's just gonna sit in my bank till I have enough to get the spark plugs and coils to put in. So, as you know, like with a Subaru or a Toyota or a Honda, or even a Volvo, every 100,000 miles, you give your car a complete tune-up. Well, my car rolled over 200,000 miles not long ago. I don't know, maybe last October, November, and maybe sooner, maybe even September. I don't really know. I didn't own the car yet. What I'm saying is I have 218,000 miles. So it hasn't been in the 200,000 for a super long time. But every 100,000 miles, it's supposed to have a complete tune-up, and it did not. However, it was also neglected sitting because it was an auctioneer. I don't know the story exactly, but putting pieces together, this is what I'm getting. that the car was in an estate sale and an auctioneer bought it and sold it at auction and got it really cheap. But they supposedly gave it a good going over and changed the oil in November. But they didn't give it a good going over. The paperwork on the Carfax is incorrect. So now, you know, it's been driven. I mean, the guy I bought it from at the car dealership, he's been driving the car to North Carolina a few times because he goes to some auction in North Carolina to pick out cars. So how he didn't notice anything was wrong with the car, I don't know. You know. But anyway, the first thing that I found was the radiator fluid was low. You don't drive to another state and not do a going over on your car, you check your tire pressure, you check your fluids before you go on a road trip. Everybody knows that. Did he really drive it to North Carolina, or is he just saying that? You check your fluids before you go anywhere. When I bought it and it just sounded like something was wrong. You know, it sounded okay the first few days that I had it, but then I was noticing sounds like that sounds rough. The radiator fluid was low. The oil was empty. The windshield wiper fluid was low, which that's not a big deal, but I'm just saying you should fill that up before you sell a car. The engine air filter was crap. It was full of leaves and bugs. How did they get in there? That thing is sealed shut. How did leaves and bugs get in there? That is a really good question. It's almost like somebody had an old fuel filter that was just, or air filter that was just sitting in the garage. And they said, oh, this one doesn't look too bad. I'll stick this one in here. Because maybe it was less dirty than the one that was in there. How do leaves and bugs get in there? It's sealed shut. It's got these things, clamps. It's clamped shut. What a mystery. So I've had the airflow sensor replaced because once that filter is dirty and gunked up, then it moves down the line. This goes bad. This goes bad. Till you need a brand new engine because you've ruined it. Maintenance. It's so important. So it has an oil leak. So I'm going to have that head gasket replaced. But I can deal with an oil leak for a while. I need to get the spark plugs and the coils. Coils are 96, 90 something each. Now, who decided that coils are better than having a distributor cap and having spark plug wires? Who decided that coils make it start better? Spark plug wires are like $7 a piece. So was it about the money? Or is it really better? I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. But I know I changed my own spark plugs and spark plug wires on my 1972 Ford Mercury Comet GT back in the 80s, and it cost almost nothing. And I thought, wow, this costs a lot. You know, spending $20 was a lot of money. Now people spend $20 on a latte, you know? Anyway, so I'm grateful for the pet sitting money because it's money I'm putting into I'm just not spending any money. I am going to have to fill up my gas tank. So, pet sitting money, grateful for pet sitting money. I am grateful for yesterday's sunshine. I needed that. You know, I mean, we've had sunny days. It's sunny right now, but we're going to have a big rainstorm this evening. You can feel the pressure in the air and the humidity going up. I can feel it. Also, I'm grateful for yesterday that my friend Lisa. Now, was I second choice? Yes. Have I ever second choiced my friends? Yes. Because you make plans with a friend and you're like, yeah, let's do this. And then you have to cancel because something comes up. So then you're like, well, I haven't seen so-and-so, so I should call them up and spend some time with them. Second choice sometimes is not a big deal. Sometimes it is. It's all about the intentions, right? So, you know, something came up with her other friends, so she called me up and asked me if I wanted to hang out. We went and ran some errands. We tried to go for a walk. The boardwalk we wanted to walk on was closed. They haven't cleaned up the debris from the hurricane yet, so it's still closed, so we couldn't walk there. I was bummed. And so I'm grateful that she called me up because I haven't adulted in a while, like a long time. So grateful for Lisa for spending time with me. It's hard to find like-minded people to hang out with. Most of the time I'm always pet sitting and I have to decline things, but I'm not pet sitting this weekend. I had the opportunity to go to an 80s party last night. It sounded really fun. And they had bingo, I think. And I love bingo. And maybe some kind of a trivia. I should have went. But I was tired. At the end of the day, my sciatica had been hurting me quite badly. And, you know, when you're running around, you get out of the car, you get in the car, you get out of the car, and then that doesn't help. And no, I'm not complaining. I was happy to be doing that. But then I had to sit and I gave myself some Reiki. And then I went into my bed because I just wanted to be in bed, not in my comfy chair. And I put all my pillows behind me. I turned my heating pad on and put it behind me. I sat and did some things. I don't even know what I was doing. And I fell asleep. So, you know, I couldn't be up that late with pain in my, you know, sciatica area, my hip area, my back. I couldn't be up having fun and tired. But I had the opportunity to have fun, and if you've been following me, you know that my guides have been saying, Lisa, go have fun. Fun is very important for our psyche. But, you know, I need to have fun at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You know? I did make my fruit smoothie. This is organic yogurt, organic soy milk. Okay, I need to remember to say something too. Organic cherries and organic blueberries. It's delicious. I put it in my Nutra bullet. So there's a fill line. When you make something like this, you want it below the fill line, because once you turn the smoothie on, it goes up and it doesn't break down the frozen fruit pieces. Then you have all these lumps. So you need to keep it at a low below the fill line, just so you know. Also, what I wanted to say is I saw a post about carrageenan. Now, I've been reading about carrageenan for a few years. Is it harmful? No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. You know, that's just how it is about these products, right? But it's not a naturally occurring product, so it really shouldn't be in our food. And it is linked to cancer, and it is also linked to inflammation. And so my Premier protein shakes have carrageenan in it, and it's one of the top 5 or 6 ingredients, which means there's quite a bit in there. It's a thickener, but there's other things that are naturally occurring that you can use to thicken. So I have to find a solution, an alternative to get my protein, because there's still some inflammation in me, and I've been trying to figure out what it is. I think that's it. You know, my intuition is telling me that it's that. And so my soy, if your product, okay, so whoever worked on this, thank you. So you know how these groups of people fight for justice? There was a group of people that fought to have carrageenan removed from any product that is called organic, USDA organic, because it's not an organic source. It's not naturally occurring. And so carrageenan has been removed from anything that's USDA organic, which is wonderful to know. So my tempeh has no carrageenan. My tempeh is just soy and rice. That's all it is. My soy milk, it's just soy milk, nothing else. So it's good to know. There's no carrageenan in my organic yogurt either. So grateful for Lisa's spending time with me because I really needed to adult. I really needed to adult. You know, I don't, all my life, okay, not all my life. There have been periods in my life where I've had an abundance of friends, and there have been periods in my life where I haven't. And so, like, for instance, when I lived in New Hampshire, when I lived in Wyoming, I had an abundance of friends. But I'd lived there a long time. I moved there when I was 9 or 10. And, well, I moved there when I was 9. And then we moved back to Arizona. And then when I was 10 and a half, we moved back to Wyoming. So, well, what we did was we summered there from Arizona. So I had my friends in Arizona that I wasn't always allowed to play with because when my dad was home, my mom would tell him all the naughty things I did, and he would beat my ass and ground me to my room. So then I'd be, the whole time my dad was home, I lived in my bedroom, and I would get really lonely. So it would be me and my cat and my books and my stuffed animals, whatever. And I would, you know, be very, very lonely. That's a terrible thing to do to a child. That is just awful. Just being there all alone. You know, sometimes not even allowed to come out and eat. Nope. Anyway, when I left Wyoming and moved to New Hampshire, I lived in the town where all my relatives lived. And so I had plenty to do with all my relatives and my grandma. And Micah was a little boy. And we always went on adventures. And we went to the lake all the time. One of the lakes. There's so many. And we went hiking. And his friends were always coming with us. We hung out with my aunt and uncle a lot. And we had cousins. And it was great. And then my best friend from childhood lived there because we used to go to New Hampshire all the time to visit our relatives. And she lived down the street from my grandma. And so she was my best friend whenever I was in New Hampshire. And so I hung out with her. And but then I moved to the bigger city for work, and it started to get lonely again because I didn't know anybody, and I'd have to drive all the way to Franklin to visit my grandma or to visit my relatives. But it's not the same as, you know, a 5-minute drive to go see, you know, have a family picnic. So I got lonely again, and then my arthritis had gotten so bad I had to have all 4 of my surgeries, and I was very alone in that. My favorite aunt and uncle had moved to Colorado. My other aunt was, I don't know what. I don't even know what. So I was very alone in that. All those surgeries. Mike and I, we had to stick together to get through that. Then I moved to Reno, Nevada, and I made lots of friends. I was busy hiking and having fun. One of my other best friends from Wyoming had moved to Reno. She's the one that convinced me to move to Reno, and her and I hung out all the time doing all kinds of fun things. We went to Lake Tahoe quite a bit. That was fun. And then I moved here. I made friends immediately, hung out with all kinds of people, did all kinds of things. And then I made new and different friends. And then I made new and different friends, and now I don't really have any friends again. So, that's the cycle. I know there are a lot of people who go through cycles like that. But it's really important that adults adult and that children have friends. Friendships are important. I know my standards are high, as someone really likes to point out. But there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having high standards. Don't lower your standards for other people to be able to be a part of your life. That's crazy. No. Just be patient. Just be patient. Yep. So, what else am I grateful for? I am grateful for my spirit guides. And I'll just put the whole team. Guardian angel, higher self, which is I'm thanking myself basically. And for the archangels, what would I do without them? And all the angels, because they all pitch in. For my ascended ancestors, yeah, grateful to them all. They've helped bring me to this place where I never imagined I'd be. Like, didn't imagine it. So this is my Matcha morning bedhead musing, but it's also my gratitude. And so next I'm going to do an oracle card reading with Kuan Yin. This is one of my older decks that I have not used in a long time because these cards take a long time. I've used the other newer Kuan Yin deck. I may only do one card pull, I'm not sure. I'll have to see what my spirit team asks me to do. So this is what I'm gonna do today during the day. It's Sunday. I'm gonna look for a message to start our week. This country has gone crazy. We need inspiration. We need direction. Inspiration, right? So we got a full moon coming on Friday. It's going to be a red moon. The day before the full moon is when you want to put your crystals outside, not the day of, especially not with a red moon. So, the day before, so that would be Thursday if you're in the United States, take your crystals, bring them outside. This little guy is one of my newest pieces, and he came from China. I haven't really connected with it yet, so maybe when I give it some full moon energy, I can connect with it. It's an angel. What is this stone called? I'm gonna have to look at the order. I can't remember. I cannot remember, but it's, you know, it goes from dark purple to medium purple to light purple to medium purple to light purple. It's not amethyst. It's something else. It's one of those other purple stones. But I just haven't connected with it at all. And I connect instantly with all of my stones, like instantly. This, I bought it on a whim. I was like, ooh, I like that. I would love to have a crystal in the shape of an angel. So, I don't know. Hopefully I can connect with it on Thursday. Okay, people, love, light, and blessings to you. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week.